Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Nerdcamp Sports. We are here with you. Rod should be joining us shortly. Got me and R&B here to start it up.
Sir.
I hope everyone is here, having a good day, had a good Monday. But how are you today, my brother?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. No signs good. Coming off of a good weekend, you know what I'm saying? Good weekend there.
Okay, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh man, all praises, but you already know, man. You know I don't get into that stuff, my brother. You know I don't celebrate these holidays and stuff, man. But
Yeah.
all praises to the Most High always.
Well, did you at least have the day off?
Oh yeah. Just relaxed.
Then how was your day
So yeah,
off?
I did. Day off was wonderful, man. Kicked back, chefed up some good salmon glazed bites for me and my son with some veggies and stuff to go along with it, and just kick back and we watch some football and relax, man.
Okay. Yeah. Nah, it was it's always good to have a day off, spend some time with family or friends or what have you. Uh, you know, and that's what we got to be about. So got a little bit of stuff. Rod says he's coming in. Kind of waiting for him here. If he's gonna come in now, because we was gonna pick up where we kind of left off last week.
Well, shoot, say no more. Let's while we waiting on them to come in, let's pick it up. Give me your top five. Right? Not them. Now I want to hear. I want to hear.
Top five all time.
Yeah, your top five. It don't have to be in a particular order. Just just your top five.
Well, I'm gonna. All right. So obviously, I started with Jordan. That goes for me without saying. Number two, I got to give it to Kobe Bryant. I got to see his whole career, and just see something. I think it was up there. He is. Yeah, what's going on, bro?
All right, everything's good. How are you?
Good. How was how was your holiday?
It was good, man. Man, I got an opportunity to go to 3 households to go, basically just pick up a plate in each household. So it was cool, man.
It's the old plate popper.
Yeah.
He had his early plate, his late plate, and his to-go plate.
That's right.
With some dessert.
Right. With dessert, exactly. With dessert.
Right. Hey, baby, grab a couple of them canned pops.
Yeah,
so
man.
we was picking up where we left off last week. He wanted the top 5 all time. So I started with Jordan, Kobe, and then my top 3 is Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and then it gets a little sketchy there. But
right.
You can't name GOAT players and not put Kareem. It's just disrespectful.
Oh, that's where. Okay, yeah. That's where we were last week. Okay, yeah. I remember that.
It's just disrespectful to not put Kareem in that upper echelon. And then, when it comes to the last player, once again, that's sketchy because I could really go any direction, right? You could pick, you could pick really anyone, but if I had to
wouldn't say you could pick anyone.
You could within reason, like within reason, you could pick anybody. You could pick someone could pick Will Chamberlain if they wanted to. Someone could pick Magic Johnson. They could pick Larry Bird, if they wanted to, but
within reason. Yeah, like you said, within reason.
Within reason. I'm not good. You ain't gonna hear me sit up here and say, you know, you're not gonna hear me say Peja Stojakovic, right? Like, like you know, like you're not gonna hear me say that or anything of that nature. But that coveted fifth spot, Lord, you know, I can't so much. It always, like I said, I'm that spot always like changes. But if I'm gonna go with one right now off the top of my head, I'm gonna go with Magic Johnson. I'll take that as my top 5 players.
It's crazy because it's damn they're very similar. I give you a direct order for me. For me personally, because this is the crazy part, I have 2 different ways I do this list. I have a
Oh,
way that I do
absolutely.
it, which is kind of like world world known or what you would call like the worldly way of doing it. Then I have my way of how I see it. So I'm gonna just do it my way of how I see it. Number 1 for me is Kobe. Number 2 for me is Jordan. 3 for me is Bron. 4 is Kareem. 5 is Magic.
And before you go, Raj, because that's how I do music, right? Like people really like when I have 2 lists. Like for me, the greatest rapper of all time is Nas. No
Okay.
one's going to convince me anything differently. However, my favorite rapper of all time is Tupac. So like I have 2 lists based on one on preference and one on like what I think it is in real time or in what
Right.
actually,
Mhm.
and it's the
Yep.
same kind of list. So, and then
Yep.
after Raj goes, I have another question that of a top 5, but a little different. That I want to get your opinion.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Raj.
Well, I gave you. I believe we discussed last week.
You got to
My
start with
top
that
5.
Joker take first. That's where
Yeah,
we.
yeah,
Yeah, you
that's what
gotta
I'm
start
saying.
with that shit,
That's
man.
where
Because
we
I,
left
I
off.
mean, as you guys are speaking, I just want you guys to understand, man, that yeah, I'm doubling down on my claims that Jokic is the best center to ever live. I'm doubling down. I'm doubling
Clickbait.
down. No, no clickbait. This is real life facts. Okay. Now, you guys both put Kareem in your list, correct? Am I right?
Wait.
Mhm.
Doubling down means that doesn't mean retracting. You mean
No.
you got
No, he
I'm
that
standing
mean he
firm.
10 toes
10
down
toes
on his
down. I'm
stand.
10 toes
He
down.
10 toes.
you
I'm
took
10 toes down on
this
my
week.
my my take.
You took this week to take that Skip Kellerman take. Yes.
Yes.
Max
Yes.
Bailiff take and
Yes.
add to it.
Yes. Let me
Oh my
explain. All right.
God.
So both of y'all put Kareem in your top 5, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Kareem's career numbers is 24 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, right? Jokic's career numbers so far, okay, is 21, 10, and 7.
And
Why? So why is he not the greatest center of all time when he's creating more offense and opportunities than any center we have ever seen in our whole entire life? He's creating 7
oh man.
assists. If you times that by 2, that's 14 extra points career-wise. We're talking about 14 extra points
Now
on
we
the
getting
board.
now we creating loopholes and
No,
oh
ain't no
man.
loophole. This is real numbers. Okay? His numbers as far as field goal percentage, 55% career-wise from the field. 35% over behind the three-point line. Okay? At the free throw, 82%. Kareem. Now, I'm giving him a pass with the three-point because he wasn't a three-point shooter. But he was only 55%. So what I'm saying is his numbers are the same as Jokic, but yet we're saying, oh, that's far fetched. He's a better. Listen. Offensively, he's better right now. At his peak, he's 29, 13, and 10 this season, guys. That's 30 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists. He's a triple double machine. This is This is
So is
something we have
Russell
never seen
Westbrook. Is
before.
he the greatest point guard of all time?
No, he's not. But I'm talking about as far as his career numbers, and this season proves that he's the best center we have ever seen.
Okay. Pause. Like all the way.
Okay, go ahead.
You're talking just statistics. Joker does not have something that you can fill up a page. First of all, when you're talking greats, you have to put accolades on top of stats. Now,
Exactly.
granted, maybe Kareem didn't have all these stats, but the game was tougher when he played than now.
I disagree.
What?
I disagree. If you give me the 90s, yes, the game was definitely tough in the 90s. The 70s and 80s, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're not going to sit here and convince me that the game is tougher back then than it is today, where there's more superstars that are playing full-time basketball. You had freaking what's his name get drafted into the league in 1980 something. Yes.
Ooh, there are not more players playing full-time basketball now than they were back then.
No, what I'm saying is back then.
Why he's off and he's off. Durant's hurt every other day.
What he's talking about careers like that, you know, which is that's a bold argument to try to use though, Rod, because we all know that those players wasn't making the money back then that these players are making today, so they had to have other jobs on the side.
That's what I'm saying. So you gonna tell me that the game is tougher back then than now?
But Kareem wasn't one of those players.
What I'm saying is, guys, listen. If we're looking at the progression of talent and the progression of the game, you know, when it goes through time, like I said, if you would convince me the 90s was tougher than now, then I'll say yes, because of the hand check rule, because of the amount of physicality, the talent pool that was there, right? If you say the 90s, you got an argument. But if you're talking about the 70s and 80s, hell no, the game wasn't that.
I would give you the benefit of the doubt to say that I would say that the 90s level of defense was better than the 80s. But as far as like just straight physicality and tougher and fighting, no, it was almost there. It was almost as comparable, but not as quite, because by the 90s, it was the Jordan era. David Stern was trying to turn stuff around in favor of Jordan, trying to make it a less physical game, making all of these different foul rules and different stuff like that. That was the beginning of a turn. Even though it would be years later, you know, for us to see it to where it got to, but the 90s was really the beginning of the turn. That like, come on, man, you go look up those old 80s highlights of these dudes straight up beating each other in the face and all types of shit like that. Like, and that stuff was like hockey. It was almost like hockey. That shit was allowed. Nowadays, some of the shit you will see back then nowadays due to be suspended for the rest of the year doing that shit.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the physicality is much greater in the 90s. But what I'm saying is, when you're talking talent, if we're talking straight up what we're looking at, let's be honest, guys. 1977, Caitlyn Jenner got drafted into the league.
So we got
AKA Bruce Jenner.
We got a comment here. My guy here, JR, says Kareem was unstoppable on boy. No one will ever call Jokic the greatest center.
See, that's a biased opinion. We're not doing it off of what.
Can I give you some stats real quick, Rod?
Okay, go ahead.
I just looked this up earlier. I didn't really look it up. I was actually doing research, and then it popped up and it came out to me, and I knew that I would be able to use this in soliloquy about the Joker tonight. So I wrote it down.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not even gonna give you all of the names. I'm just gonna give you a few. Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, And I'm gonna just stop right there.
Yeah.
Tony Parker has more playoff points than all of them. Is Tony Parker a top 5 point guard of all time?
No, we're not doing it based off of just
Exactly.
strictly
So that tells you what it
playoff
is right
numbers.
there. It's not. No, I'm not. I wasn't just saying strictly playoff numbers. I just used those playoff numbers to allude the point. Just because numbers are there doesn't always mean that a player is better or greater. It's because we all know Tony Parker, which I love Tony Parker, but he's not a top 5 point guard. But yeah, he has more playoff points than some of the most world-renowned greatest players of all time. You get what I'm saying? So those
Yeah.
numbers don't always, you know what I'm saying? Kareem didn't lose in high school, didn't lose in college, won a championship with the Bucks before coming to LA, struggled in LA for a minute there till they got Magic and then went on. We all know that first championship should have been another finals MVP in his book, but they gave it to Magic because he was hurt, so on and so forth.
Right.
Come on, man. It's really, I'm gonna be honest, it's quite disrespectful to even put Joker in the conversation right
No, it's
now.
not.
I'm not
No,
saying
it's
he
not.
can't be there. So you just jump over Shaq and Tim Duncan
Yes.
and Kevin
Yes.
Garnett?
I'm a,
So if you
listen,
were
this
to
is
take
what I'm basing it on.
over,
All right. Let me just tell you what I'm basing it on, right? The amount of impact and success that they have with the impact that they're working with. So let me give you an example. You mentioned Kareem playing with Magic, right? He won championships with Magic. Okay. You mentioned Kareem playing with the Big O, Oscar Robertson. He won championships with Oscar Robertson. Now, those guys are Hall of Famer. Point to a Hall of Famer teammate that Jokic got.
It's sad to say, but Jamal
so
Murray is going to be a Hall of Famer.
No.
so wait a minute.
Nobody
No.
really respects the NBA Hall of Fame, bro. That's hard.
So
If you really want to make an argument, we got to go top 75 or different shit like that. Hall of Fame
Okay.
don't really nobody.
But
Everybody know the Hall of Fame that's really respected is the NFL, and baseball comes a distant second.
okay. So follow what
and
I'm
if you're gonna
saying.
use that point, wouldn't you have to say Dirk is ahead of Joker? Because he should not have won that title. And who'd he have at that point? Sure, you have Jason Kidd, but
Yeah.
he wasn't playing Hall of Fame level at that time.
You
But
have
he
a
had, but he had,
35-year-old
but
at
he
the
had,
end of his career, Jason Kidd, Jason
but
Terry.
he had, but he had Hall of Fame talent on his team. He had Jason Kidd being a facilitator. He wasn't a scorer, but he was a facilitator. He was doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Jokic
And,
never played with the Hall of
and
Famer on his
what
team,
happened?
except
And what
or a future Hall of Famer on his team, except now with Russ.
and
So
what happened?
you don't think Aaron Gordon came up big for them?
These guys are role players. These guys aren't somebody you would put in a conversation to say they're going
Aaron
in the
Gordon's
Hall of
only a
Fame.
role player because he's in Denver, but he's definitely a third option for them
Jamal
most nights.
Murray's
Yeah,
a role.
I'm not saying he's not a third. Huh?
Jamal Murray's a role player.
Yeah, he's not a
What?
superstar.
You tripping, bro?
Because the year they didn't have him, if memory serves correct, Joker got swept in the
First
first
round
round.
exit.
Joker
Okay,
got
First
swept,
round
but
exit.
then he returns, they win a title. So
let's say
that's
okay.
bad
So
Hold on.
let's say he's
Hold
an
on. Hold
all-star
on.
talent.
Hold on. Real quick. Just to Mike's point. Even though I don't respect the bubble, Western Conference Championship with Jamal Murray at the bubble before he gets hurt. Then
Yeah,
they
he's an all-star talent. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, he's an all-star talent. We'll race because he's been playing like a role player these past few years. But we're gonna say all-star talent when he did show up and he played in the playoffs. Okay, he played at all-star talent for those years that they won the championship and also the previous years that they was actually moving to the Western Conference Finals. But what I'm saying is this: we're not putting him in that conversation for Hall of Fame talent. What I'm saying is uh, uh, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played with Hall of Fame talented people that's in the Hall of Fame, people you knew had, like, when you look at Oscar Robertson, didn't he have an MVP when he was with Kareem? Or was it? I'm not sure. I'm not much for Oscar Robertson
He
fan.
won. I'm not sure if he won it with Kareem or after he was already gone. But
But
he
what I'm
did win the
saying
MVP
is,
though.
imagine Jokic playing with somebody who won an MVP. Like I said, the first time and only time he did that is now playing with Russ. And what I'm saying is, if we're gonna judge it off of that, then he never played with somebody that was on that level. But if we're doing it strictly off the numbers, like I said, 21, 10, and 7 career numbers. Career numbers. Like he's putting up 21 points and he's creating another 7 assists, which is 14 points on the board. So we're looking at 34 points that's coming straight from Jokic.
Your method of arguing for Joker really would almost bring home for me Kobe being the greatest of all time. If I really wanted to go there, but I know it would be insane to try to, you know what I'm saying, move the goalpost so much because with the method you using, I could easily say, well, Kobe the GOAT and LeBron right behind him, and then you might have to put Mike third.
And I wouldn't argue with that because there's like I said, there's a lot to go into that when we look at the numbers and also the impact on their team. Because remember, Mike played with Hall of Famers. So did Kobe. I'm not saying he didn't, but what I'm saying is Mike played just like Kobe did. So there's an argument there. But when I'm talking about the Joker, he never played with any type of Hall of Famer. He never played with any type of Hall of Famer up until this season when he's playing now with Russ. And what I'm saying is he's the greatest big man. He's the greatest center we ever seen. Because what other center is creating an additional 14 points outside of scoring and then getting 10 boards and then putting up 20 career-wise? Shaq never put up these type of numbers.
But don't play no defense, though.
But see, okay. And then the defensive argument comes in. Was Shaq a good defender?
Yes.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
He was
wasn't
decent.
a great
He wasn't
defender.
a good defender.
He wasn't a Dwight Howard or no shit like that, but Shaq was definitely a good defender.
He was decent.
He was better than decent. Look up his career blocks per game.
I'm looking it up as we speak. Because I remember watching it with the eye test, and Shaq was not a rim stopper. He was not a rim stopper. He was just an intimidator. He was
not a rim stopper to the level of Ben Wallace, but he definitely got blocked shots. He wasn't Hakeem Olajuwon or Ben Wallace or Dikembe Mutombo.
But for Shaq's career, he averaged 2.3 blocks. And there was a stretch where he was averaging 3 blocks a game for about 5 years.
Okay, and that's fair.
That probably was in Orlando.
But that was prime Shaq. But what I'm saying is,
for LA, I would probably guess.
Shaq in Orlando, there was a year with 3.5. LA, there's a year with 3.8, 3.7. Hold on. Am I looking at the right shit? 2.8, 2.4, 2.5, 2.3 for his career, but he had 3.5 blocks in Orlando his rookie season.
Okay, how many steals did he have?
Another thing about Shaq, he was always known, like they used to always highlight how good of a passer he was for somebody his size. Now that's not saying that he's the level of passer or Joker. I'm not insane. But he was a pretty damn good passer for somebody his size in the paint as well.
Right.
Steals point six.
But see, that's why I'm going back to my original statement saying he's the best big man because he does it all. The only problem that you can point out is his defense. And his defense is not that bad as people try to make it seem because he's averaging about 1.2 steals for his career and one block per game.
1 block per game.
That's fine, because that's not his forte. That's not his forte.
He's still leaving out.
You're big.
He's an offensive juggernaut. If you put him and Shaq,
So don't ever say he did it all. Don't
He
ever
did
say
it
he does
all.
it
He's
all.
doing it all. If you put him and Shaq in the same era in their prime, I guarantee he wins MVP. I guarantee you Jokic win MVP.
Hey, with that,
show's
Because
over.
y'all know I'm right,
being said,
bro.
we
Show's
gotta
over.
pay for some we gotta pay for some advertisement. We're coming out of Detroit.
Show's over. Hold on.
Figure this out. How to because I gotta go grab my son. He just called and said practice is over. I will be right back. The school is around the corner. I will be right back. Please figure out a way to segue back to this.
No.
I will be right back.
Wait for you to come back. I'm just gonna slide over to the NFL. We're gonna slide back to this when you get
That's
back.
cool. That's cool.
I will be back. Give me about 15 minutes. I will be right back.
All right. So we're gonna slide over to the NFL for a moment here while he's while we're in intermission here on that. So I'm just gonna start hot with it.
Let's go.
Do you think that the Kansas City Chiefs are the luckiest team in NFL history?
That's a real good question. And you know what? I had to think about that, especially with this last game. When you watch O'Connell drop the ball at the final seconds of the game. Yeah, this season I would say yes, but I will say they're lucky, but they're also willing to they're also skilled. They're lucky and skilled at the same time because it takes something to get to the point where these last second or these last drives fall apart and then they still be able to make it.
Yeah, I mean, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday. He's a Bills fan, so his takes are a little biased,
Right.
but he's just like, well, the referees are really assisting. And I said to a degree, maybe,
That's
or
fair.
maybe, but I told him, I said, let's be honest, there's a lot of money in a three-peat.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Oh no, we know what it is. We know what it is.
There's a
And especially with Mahomes.
A lot of money in a three-peat.
Yeah.
I will say though, when you look at their games, let me see if I can get their schedule up here. When you look at their games this season, Kansas City Chiefs, you look at all of them in totality. Beat the Ravens week 1, cool. Survived the Bengals week 2. Survived the Falcons. Barely beat the Chargers 17-10. Kind of manhandled the Saints. Beat the Niners by 10. Beat the Raiders by 7. Beat the Bucks by 6. Survived the Broncos, but on a crazy blocked field goal at the last second. You look at they lost to the Bills. They barely beat the Panthers, and then they barely beat the Raiders. And I look at it, and yeah, they're finding ways to win, but that can't keep happening. They did activate. Why not? You're playing too close for comfort. Eventually, and it's usually at the wrong time, it's going to go wrong.
Okay.
You're going to be on the wrong side of that exchange. Now, like I've said, they got Pacheco back this week. They kind of starting to get him back into the fold. I read Hollywood Brown should be returning. Rice isn't out for the season. And, I think they're coasting. I mean, honestly, you don't need to really play. They're right now saying we don't need to play our best football to beat anyone. I think they need to, play real good this Sunday. When they're playing the Chargers this Sunday, so you're gonna need a little humph. Then they play Cleveland, they play the Texans, they play the Steelers, and they play the Broncos to end the season. So I mean, you look at that, 3 of the. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, 4 of those 5 teams are potential playoff teams.
Right.
You know, Chargers, obviously. The Texans are in that mix. The Steelers are obviously atop of the AFC. And ironically, if the Chiefs do lose some games and Buffalo loses some games and Pittsburgh keeps winning, that game becomes a potential number 1 seed game for the Steelers or the Chiefs. So, I got Bills fans like, oh, I can't wait for your defense to terrorize Mahomes. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. I'm like, man, that I was like, y'all beat him. No, he goes, yeah, my one buddy, he's like, but it don't matter right now. Don't matter right now. I'm like, see, that's the energy you need. You beat Mahomes when it don't matter, but when it matters, y'all fall apart like crumb cake. So when I look at that and I look at this, luck will run out. Now, obviously, they're going to make the playoffs. Obviously, they're more than likely going to win the division. Probably more than likely going to get that first round bye and have everyone go through them. But these close exchanges, they got to find a way to just widen it a little bit. Or else, like I said, there is always that possibility that on that Sunday in January, they could be on the wrong side. And there's a comment, luck will run out.
Yeah, like, all right, let me say this, and you're right, and it might happen, but then again, it might not. And it's just that little inkling of hope and that little inkling of luck that is necessary and needed for you to win games. Because if they blew teams out, then everyone be talking about how great they are and how they're unstoppable and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. And as long as your team is winning, you'll figure out how to do the rest when it happens. Now, what really counts is, of course, the playoffs. And the fact that they're going to get this number 1 seed, hopefully, we'll see. But so far, they got it. But if they get that first round bye, then they got an opportunity to fix whatever is happening in the regular season. Like whatever issues or whatever health issues they're having, they have an opportunity to kind of get back on track. But what I will say is this. Snowman Mahomes, a.k.a. Josh Allen, needs to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. If they don't beat the Chiefs, it's over. I don't want to hear nothing about the Bills. I don't want to watch no Bills game. I don't want to hear about how great they are. I need him to win against Mahomes in a playoff situation. The best of the best. You know how Ric Flair said, in order for you to be the man, you got to beat the man. So I need Snowman Mahomes, a.k.a. Josh Allen, to beat Mahomes if they play in Kansas City, or if they play, well, they have to play in Kansas City because he's the number 1 seed. But if it's snowing or not, he needs to play like he did last night, okay? Because if he doesn't, I don't want to hear no more the Bills are 1 year away. I don't want to hear no more of that because you can't go through unless you beat Patrick Mahomes. That's all I got to say about that situation. And one last thing.
Mm-hmm.
If they go up against Pittsburgh, I'm scared. I'm letting you know that right now. If Kansas City goes up against Pittsburgh, I don't care what round. I don't care if it's the first, second round. I don't care if it's the AFC Championship. If they go up against Pittsburgh, good night.
He said good night.
Good night. Because if you're talking about luck, that defense is going to push your luck. So, yeah, they better avoid Pittsburgh. If they can avoid the Steelers, they're good. I think they got it.
He said if they can avoid the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're good.
That's what I'm saying. Am I right or wrong? Like, their defense is – how can I explain it? It's not elite, but it's really, really, really good. And Patrick Mahomes can't take that type of defense. He can't take that type of hits. And if they're having a bad game, they're not coming out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not coming out of that slump. And especially how what's-the-name is playing now, how Russell Wilson's playing. he's playing top-notch football right now. He's winning games and he's figuring it out. So if they can stay healthy, if they can get to that AFC Championship, it's a great possibility. It's a dub for the Kansas City Chiefs. But if it's the gauntlet before that, if it's going to be Buffalo Bills versus the Steelers, then it is what it is. They're going to shoot it out. But
Oh
don't
yeah,
don't don't end up getting the Steelers in the AFC Championship. That's not going to be a good look for Patrick Mahomes.
because the Steelers definitely have an opportunity to get that Super Bowl berth and win it.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. It is not a game. I was joking around in the beginning of the season saying, they're going to mess up. They're going back to 8-8.
Now Tomlin said, "Fuck y'all. I already got another winning season, 9-3 right now." He's like, "It's over." So
Yeah, it's over.
The streak continues.
Yep. So
The streak's about to pass Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania.
Oh man, exactly.
Speaking of which, let's talk about another AFC foe, the Baltimore Ravens. It was a beautiful day yesterday. Steelers win, Ravens lose, and they're off next week. And if the Steelers can get revenge on the Browns, they will take a 2-game lead over the Ravens with 4 weeks to go. 1 game against the Ravens left, a game against Philly left, a game against Kansas City. And I think another game against Cincinnati. It's going to be a tight race, but I'm going to gloat while I can. Baltimore looked absolutely pitiful yesterday.
Yeah, they look like dog. You know what?
They looked absolutely pitiful. And that's not to say that they are pitiful, but yesterday was bad.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't get that offense going at all. And, and when they did, the score didn't justify the game. Like, it was like they had like 12 points for most of that game. And it's just like now you're sitting there 8-5. You're 2 games essentially behind Pittsburgh. And Lamar, I believe, has 27 touchdowns this season. They said while the game was on, 3 interceptions, and arguably those 3 interceptions weren't his fault. So he's played pretty perfect football, but they play down to a lot of opponents. And when they play against those top tier elite teams, they take L's.
Yep.
We got to call what it is. The Ravens running Lamar is 1-5 against the Chiefs and 1-4 against the Steelers. Both of those teams are going to be in the playoffs, at least how it looks right now. That means your chances of victory or getting through that is 33%. You're not going to avoid both of them. It's not going to happen.
Yep.
You're not going to avoid both. That's almost impossible. But if they don't right the ship, because and this is going to be a wild take, what I'm about to say. They got next week off. They're on a bye. Don't come out that bye flat and lose to the Giants. Now, although in my soul, I would love that to happen. But don't come out flat and lose that game. Because if you lose that game and Pittsburgh beats the Browns next week, you might as well kiss the division goodbye. Because at that point, you've lost everything. You've lost everything. You'd be 8-6 at that point. 3 games to go. You're going to be in some trouble. and even a game, even a week 17 heroic against the Steelers, excuse me, might not be able to save you.
Right.
You know, but kudos to Philly because before I let you go, Philly has showed up this season, and Philly, because after the Super Bowl year, was that last year?
2 years ago, I believe.
So no,
Oh, was it
so
last
last
year?
year, no, they went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So last year was
Yeah.
the year after the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So last year, they started out hot and then they crashed. But listen, I don't care what no one says. Saquon Barkley has reinvented himself. He has brought life into this team. He's brought life into my fantasy league. He has brought life all the way around. And like with him, Hurts, the tush push, the defense is playing better. What we expected from Philly after the Super Bowl season is what they're giving us right now. And
Right.
all they have to do, because listen, a lot of people, us included, are picking the Lions. But let's be honest, the last two games, like that Texans game, it's not
Right.
many opportunities where you throw 5 interceptions and win a game.
True.
That game this week, what was it, the Bears? I mean, I'm a firm believer in division rivalries, no matter what the records are, but you should have been able to do more. So now,
no doubt.
and they're due for another L. They're due for one.
At least
right?
one more. Yeah. They're 11-1.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, you make those kind of mistakes against Philly, you will regret it. Philly does have the tools and the means to defeat the Lions if the Lions make those mistakes.
Right. See, and it goes back, and I want to get R&B's take on it because he's a Detroit dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I really want to know what he feels about the Lions, like his opinion, because I might be wrong saying this, but in reality, I feel like the Lions, they're going to get to that point where they're going to win the regular season games, they're going to do good, they're going to get to the playoffs, and something's going to happen. I'm not saying they're going to lose, but what I'm saying is something, the floor is going to drop somehow. They might not win like you expect them to win or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I say that to say that we got to look at it for what it is. And the Eagles are doing their thing. But the only problem I have with the Eagles is their health.
And
you got Smith out. Yeah.
Real quick, the Lions' remaining schedule is not easy.
Okay.
Green Bay on Thursday. Buffalo.
All right.
Luckily for them, both of those are home games.
Mm-hmm.
At Chicago. I hope they flex this game. They got a Monday night game against the 49ers the day before New Year's Eve. And then the Vikings to end the season. All right, I just wanted to put that out there. You go ahead. So, like I said, that loss is coming. It's in there.
Right. Yeah.
And if I had to pick one, I'm picking either this week, that Buffalo game, or that Vikings game. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I'm definitely picking that. I'm definitely picking that Buffalo game. I think that I truly believe that the Buffalo Bills can beat them, especially when they're giving up points like they did during Thanksgiving, which almost cost me money. But yeah, I look at it like this. Like I said, the floor is going to drop eventually. I don't know when, but it is. Historically, that's what happens. But I do still believe that they're the best team in NFC. Like, I honestly believe that because of they've been healthy. They have been very healthy and been playing top-notch football. But if we're talking
the Eagles are the healthiest team, you're saying?
No, the Lions.
Okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. If I had to choose which one I'm rolling with, I gotta roll with Detroit still because of their health. Like the thing is,
absolutely.
The thing is, you gotta have all your parts there. And the injuries aren't like small injuries. These are like real injuries that are happening. AJ Brown was out for a while. Now you got Devontae Smith out. It's like you got to figure out how to win games without your key players, your key star players on the offensive side. And then, of course, there's been injuries on the defensive side as well. But relatively, Detroit have been very healthy and they've been playing top-notch football from their run game to their pass game. Even their defense is top-notch. So
all I'm saying is, and that's true, they play their complementary football, they got it. But if they play like they've played the last 2 weeks, it's going to be an issue. And if you play like that, you throw 5 interceptions, Philly's going to make you pay. If you cannot play up to par, and like I said, I'm not excusing they played a division rival this week. I'm not saying that it isn't comparable. But like I said, the next 5 games for the Lions, it's not easy. Outside of that Niners game, that's the only dud on the list. But the 4 of these next 5, and Philly's right on their ass. They've won 8 in a row. Philly's right there. So it's you can hold it all the way. It ain't about how you start, it's about how you finish. As long as they're playing complementary football, they got it. But they make those mistakes, or play like they did the last 2 weeks. Philly can definitely take them in a playoff game. That's the only team in the NFC that has a chance. Other than that,
like they did the last 2 weeks.
I don't know why it's echoing. Okay. Other than that, there's no doubt Detroit's definitely ahead of the pack.
Right.
Y'all talking about Detroit, man. Fill me in.
Yeah, I was waiting for you. I was trying to get your opinion on what we talking about, Mike.
We were talking about hold on. Oh, we were actually talking about Baltimore and Philly. And I was just telling him how Philly is the only team that has an opportunity to beat them in the whole NFC. To me, on a playoff level. Sure, you got, Green Bay in the mix. They're right there, in the upper echelon. On paper, the Vikings, maybe. But, in terms of just in general, Philadelphia's got the best built team to do it, especially if they make those mistakes. The last 2 weeks, they haven't looked how they've looked the rest of the season, which is, they won, but they haven't looked that way. All I was saying was that if they make those kinds of mistakes against Philly, Philly will make them pay and they can be beaten. That's all I said. But
I think it would equal each other out.
But Raj also said they've been healthier. So, because, if they're healthy and they're good.
I disagree with that.
That they've been healthier?
Yeah, we've taken some big blows. We lost Anzalone, our starting linebacker. Then the backup, Malcolm Rodriguez, went down last week. We lost him, who's a hell of a great backup. And so that's why they went into. I don't know if you guys seen, but we signed Jamal Adams to the practice squad. We signed Quan Alexander, used to play for Pittsburgh, and I think it was a couple other like a defensive end or a defensive tackle that they signed as well. So yeah, we got quite thin there at the linebacker position and at the on the line there. We've taken some substantial blows, So yeah, I would I feel like with Philadelphia. I don't know. You know what? Raj may be right, but I think it would just equal each other out. I think they've had some key injuries during their stretch that they've been on these last 8-9 weeks. We just got some recent injuries, outside of the big one with Hutch, but we had a good sustainable run of being healthy up until about 2 weeks ago, and then now we kind of got hit with the injury bug or whatever. But I think they both have still had enough of their key players to maintain and do what they're supposed to do. I think they both had some performances where they won where they didn't look as impressive as others. So right now they're kind of like neck and neck. To be honest with you, I still roll with Philadelphia because I trust. Yes, I trust 5 turnover Jared Goff more than I trust what I'm seeing out of Jalen Hurts right now. I trust it. I trust it more because he won that game. Hey, Kirk Cousins threw 5 interceptions this past Sunday. They got the brakes beat off of them.
5. It was bad. Like it was real bad.
Kirk Cousins playing like second cousin.
But
He out here
what was
messing
the
up,
question
man.
that you wanted to ask me, Rod?
No, the question I was going to ask, if they meet up in the NFC Championship, who do you have? But I think you already answered it. You pretty much said it, I guess. Do you
Yeah,
still got?
I still would roll with the Lions. Obviously, barring any big time injuries or anything like that, I feel
Right.
like Saquon is lighting the world on fire. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna be a battle between him and Josh Allen of who's gonna win that MVP. But man, hey, 2 is always better than 1.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Sonic and
saying.
Knuckles, baby.
I was just about to say that Sonic and Knuckles out here killing it, and then on top of that, you guys got an offensive side of, the passing game too, and the defense is really good. So it's like when it comes down to it, they met each other in the NFC Championship. It could go either way, but I will have to roll with the ones who's been leading
Who's
the
ever healthy?
NFC. You know what I'm saying? Because the Eagles, and this is the thing about the Eagles too, by the way. The Eagles, not only they're missing a few of their parts on the offensive side, I just don't trust Jalen Hurts, bro. Like, there's something about him when he gets to that stage, he just folds, man. He's a good
That's
quarterback.
not
Don't get me
true.
wrong.
That's not true, Rod.
In the
That's
in the
not
in
true.
the, in the
I'm
playoffs,
not gonna let you do that to Jalen.
in the
He does not
playoffs,
he does not
Listen,
fold on big stages, man. He
I
does
would
not fold on big
I would say
stages.
this. This is solely my opinion. The Chiefs and the Eagles a couple years ago was the best Super Bowl I watched with my 2 eyes.
okay.
Okay? With my 2 eyes, that's the best Super Bowl. Both quarterbacks played
Showed
complementary
up.
football.
Mhm.
Jalen Hurts almost played a perfect game, except the fumble that the Chiefs recovered, and I believe the second quarter, like pretty much in their territory. Had that turnover not have happened, we could have had a different result. That turnover changed the trajectory of the game and the energy of the game. It really, yeah, they were still in it, but it really put an emphasis on Kansas City. Now, of course, there was that call at the end, that pass interference that got called that shouldn't have been called, or whatever you want to call it. But I can't say that because the last time he was there, he went to the Super Bowl. Like last year, last year they didn't make the playoffs
I
last year.
think they did. Remember they had what was they like 9-0 last year, and then they
Yeah.
finished the season of like abysmal. But it was to account of that defense. I wouldn't say it was all on Jalen Hurts why they ended the year the way that they did last year. That defense got absolutely bad out of nowhere, and people didn't even understand it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that he was necessarily playing bad; the defense was playing bad, and at times he wasn't his best. So. Uh, but I trust Jared Goff more. I do. I trust Jared Goff more. Uh, I think they equal each other out. They both have been to a Super Bowl in a losing effort. Though Jalen Hurts looked like an MVP, could have been in his losing effort versus Jared Goff. Looked horrible, against the Patriots, but still was only one touchdown drop away. You know what I'm saying? If Cooks catch that one, they win that Super Bowl. So, you know what I'm saying? I think they both equal each other out.
Okay.
It's gonna be interesting to see. That's for sure.
If Philly's healthy, they'll probably be the favorite, even if the Lions lock up the #1 seed. If Philly's healthy, Vegas will probably make them the favorites because in our reality, they do have more talent. Not saying that the Lions are deep talent wise. I know that we are, but Philly has more talent. They definitely have they have the payroll to show.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's gonna be an interesting show either way. And I mean, I hope they do meet up at some point because I want to see it. I want to see it as a fan. Damn it, I
Me
want to. See.
too.
So I know we want to get back to that NBA topic, but here's what here's what we're gonna do. We're at the 55-minute mark. I'm gonna wait till we're at the hour 30-minute mark, unless we get through these NFL topics before then. Go through those, and then we'll end the show with the NBA argument, go debate. And I still have another secondary question I want to get into as well. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to ask it now so that you can think about the answer when we get to it. The question is, I want you to name your top player, your top 5, but you have to use each position. Therefore, you're naming the GOAT, in your opinion, at point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. So your GOAT starting 5. So you think about that, and then when we get to back to that, we'll answer that.
All right.
So a little hard to kind of do that on the spot. I have mine already. So
Yeah, I got mine.
Gives you some time if you need to think about it, make some changes. So with that said, we already talked about the Ravens. Let's talk about the shootout in Pittsburgh yesterday. The Steelers just can't ever make it easy. Can't just win the game normal. George Pickens, you got to shoot a gun after you got a big play and then gave half of it back. Then you got the unnecessary roughness call. You got to give it back. Like, bro, you are acting Antonio Brown finesse. You need to
some in
chill.
that water.
I swear.
Some in that Pittsburgh water.
Man.
Russ played a pretty clean game outside of the pick 6. When I turn the game on, that's the first thing I see. Like, nigga, really? Pick 6 to start the game? Pick 6? Like, you really?
That you might have a pick 6 or so when you run with that type of game plan they ran with yesterday. They let them cook. They opened it up. They knew it was that type of game.
Yeah, So I look at this game. I looked at Joe Burrow. Like, yo, they got so many 30-point games and have lost them all.
Yep.
And, you look at this game yesterday, the Steelers needed it, but the Bengals needed it to stay on track.
On track. On track
To even have a shot mathematically. Now it's over. Because now you have to debate. You have to debate on what do you do? You have to debate on like what's the right thing for this team now. Because this game really put the nail in their coffin for the season. As for the Steelers, outside of a fumble against Cleveland, which I still am not over for the record, they're looking like a Super Bowl contender. Other than that, they have an opportunity. The defense is good. Russ is russing. They let Fields got us the first down that game. Huh?
Russ getting Rusey.
So I think it was a good show. It was a great game to watch. Good show for Pittsburgh. It's always good when Joe Burrow can do what he does. Just don't do it so convincingly. Next time, like just take the L, bro. Just go down.
Yeah.
But what's your take on this one, Raj?
So I didn't watch the whole game live. I just watched the highlights. But listen, we know how it goes with the Bengals. The Bengals, they can put up points, they can score. Joe Burrow's going to put up insane numbers, get touchdown passes, but that defense is horrible. The fact that they gave up 44 points is crazy. Like they should have won this game, but then again, they should have lost too because their defense is bad. So if you got to score 30 points every single night, and then you got to, or 30 plus points every single night just to win, and then you're giving up 30 plus points every single night, then that's a losing recipe right there. I mean, I don't know what more they can do on the offensive end to win. They're doing everything. But it's just the fact that when you watch these guys play, and when I've watched the Bengals play live and watch them on TV, their defense is trash. And I don't know what they need to do, but they got to fix it because now they're eliminated out of the playoff picture. Well, I believe they're eliminated mathematically. I think they are, but yeah, they're gonna have to hit the reset button on this whole entire team. And I can see that a lot of people are upset over there in Cincinnati because they're trying to figure out what are we doing wrong. So that's my take. But as far as Russ, I think that this is a good game for him to show that he still got it. I mean, the fact that he put up incredible numbers, 414 yards, man, I haven't seen that ever from Russ. 3
Second
touchdowns.
time.
Wow.
Like that's crazy. But then 3 touchdowns. What you say? You said this the second time?
Yeah, they said the last time he did it was like 9 years ago.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. I don't remember throwing anywhere above 350. Like he normally puts up good numbers or good yards, but 400 yards is crazy. 414 yards is insane. But yeah, 3 touchdown passes, 1 interception. But as far as the maturity of Pickens, like I said, man, I mean I say it in a joking way, but I low key mean it. I think there's something in the water out there in Pittsburgh because it seems like you guys always get the good wide receivers that got CTE. And hear me out my theory though. Hear me out my theory. Okay, it started off with Antonio Brown, right? Then it was Juju Smith Schuster. He was acting up. Remember he did that dance on TikTok, and now this guy with the gun fetish. It's crazy. It's like, yo, we gotta fix that.
Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot about him. Oh shoot. Yo, it's something about Pittsburgh, bro. I don't know what's going on over there. You gotta check on them, Mike. You gotta check on that water source. You gotta see if it's next to a power plant or something. Cause something ain't right. Got these Negroes acting up. But anyway, they put up a good game. I think that this is probably the most impressive game. The fact they put up 44 points, against a team that's pretty much trash, but they can still win if they can score. But yeah, that's just my take, man.
Go ahead, R&B.
Man, I love talking about Pittsburgh on here with y'all. It brings joy to my I told you so. In the beginning, Mike was very fretful and bashful. He didn't know what his Pittsburgh Steelers were gonna look like.
Uh-huh.
They had Justin Fields in there running all over the place, except the end zone at times, managing to win. And then finally, when things were looking a little bleak, Mr. Unlimited.
Unlimited.
No, I love talking about Pittsburgh though, man. Because like I said, I called it. I knew what this offense could look like if Russ was any inkling of what he looked like the last year in Denver, man. I say, you know what I'm saying? Like he played good football. When Sean Payton got there, we all know that Sean Payton just didn't like Russ, didn't want Russ. That wasn't his guy. Sean Payton wanted who he wanted, and he planned the night. Shit, outside of that, man, I'll be real. Pittsburgh looks very formidable. In Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
I would, I
That
would
too.
contemplate.
I gotta
I,
plug my computer in. It's gonna die.
look, I might mess y'all up with this one, but I think I would contemplate sitting Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase for the rest of the year.
I would. No, you ain't got me on that. I agree.
Joe Burrow already beat up as it is. He stay
Yeah.
getting hurt as it is. So you know what I'm saying. At this point, man, I think I would sit him and Jamar Chase. You know what I'm saying, or I would be very limited on on snaps. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. If a game get out of reach, you know what I'm saying. Maybe they'll go with that decision maybe in the next week or so. You know, if they fuck around and get into a game where it's out of reach or something like that. Who knows? But you know what I'm saying, or maybe he won't want to do it. Who knows? But I
I would
would.
sit him out. I would.
Is
What are you
all of that
playing
money
for?
invested? Yeah, what are you playing for at this point? Like
Yeah.
the defense is absolutely horrendous over there, man. So Russ did what he should have did to them with the talent that he has on the Pittsburgh and their wide receiver room. Man, look, the Bengals, man, they just got a lot of reevaluating to do. That coach, he might need to be up out of there because this is just he's a good coach, but how good of a coach are you when you can't really ever play with the league? You know what I'm saying? You always got to start slow. You always start slow coming out of the gate. Now I have to give him a little bit of a pass for the the season and the injuries with Joe Burrow. You know, two of those seasons where he went down. What was it, in training camp, and then what was it, maybe in the preseason or week one of the years or something like that. So I had to give him a little slight pass on that. But when Joe Burrow's healthy, why is it continuously that you have this great upper echelon of a future, what looks to be a future Hall of Fame career quarterback, and you can't capitalize on it with the talent around him? T. Higgins and Jamar Chase,
Yep.
and y'all starting slow like this every year? First of all, why the hell did y'all let Joe Mixon go? Why is he with the Texans instead of still
Thank
with the
you.
Bengals? I don't understand that because the running game has been trashed as well. But then, so I don't. What are we doing over here in Cincinnati? I'm gonna keep calling it that now, Cincinnati. What are we doing over there? Like I don't understand it. They look like they trying to like make this team bad. I don't get it. So.
Well, the NFL, or according to NFL.com, mathematically the Bengals aren't out. The only two teams in the AFC that are out are the Raiders and the Patriots. But the Bengals have a 4% chance to make the playoffs.
They're out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 7 teams that are in right now are going to be the 7 teams that we see. But like you're right, like every year we do the same song and dance. The same song and dance with them. They start out slow. They can't get no wins. They can't do this. They didn't do that. They heat up, and they just that way of football isn't always going to work. So
it's not sustainable.
Changes that are gonna have to be made. They're gonna have to. It could be Zach Taylor. It could. They need help on the defensive side of the ball because they're theoretically, I would say 70% of the time, 30 points. 30 points or more, the way they can score and put up points, that's enough points to win a game.
Yeah.
70%.
It should be.
Every once in a while you're gonna have a shootout. You get out there.
I will say this though, Mike. You can score all those points, but when you playing with the type of defense that you playing with, you have to take care of the football. I ain't trying to sound like Shannon Sharp earlier, pissing Dan off on first take. But I'm gonna be real. It have been plays here and there where they put the ball in harm's way. I hate to say it. It's you got to ask them to play perfect. And they just got to know that they got to know that they got to go play perfect. They can't turn the ball over on offense. I know it's a lot to ask, but
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. You know, it's difficult. You know, you really have to be perfect, like you said, and there's a lot of imperfection, if you will.
yeah,
Imperfection.
I got a question for y'all about the Cincinnati Bengals. Do
Yeah.
you feel that Jamar Chase is going to leave eventually, like next season or the season after next? If like it's a free agency thing or whatever, do you feel he's going to leave?
I wouldn't be surprised. I would say that because I think he really does have a great relationship with Joe Burrow, being that they go all the way back to being college teammates and stuff like that. So
Right.
I think there's a bond there with them, and they've been there. Even though they lost, they've been to that Super Bowl. So I know it got to be that itch of like, man, we can do this shit. We can get back there together again. I'm telling you, I feel like we can. You know what I'm saying? There's probably a little bit of that there. So I think that would kind of keep both of them, you know what I'm saying, maybe tied into it. But again, I think for all of that to matter and play a part, it would all be contingent upon how good they look going forward up until he's possible to be a free agent or whatever. Because he just signed a new deal, didn't he?
Yeah,
Or did he
No.
just report?
No, that he just
Nah,
reported.
He just reported.
just
It
reported.
didn't
Yeah,
come.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking, because I know they was dealing with that contract issue, and even on the field, he just seems like he's just upset, like he's not happy at all.
Yeah.
You know?
And again, do you think he reports if Joe Burrow's not his quarterback?
No.
No.
My point
I
exactly.
I think like this. Jamar Chase has a rapport with him, right? And now Jamar Chase, if he gonna leave, okay, but you gonna want to go somewhere where you can win. But at the same
Mhm.
time, he wants his money, right? So, what team can he go to, win, and get his money?
The Chiefs.
Maybe they'll get.
I'm just being real. Like, if you want to win, and you might take a little pay cut, but let's be real, the Chiefs don't pay their wide receivers like that.
But
He's
see,
not
that's
taking the pay cut on his first pay, so I don't see the Chiefs as an option. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's a fairy tale world, Mike. What you just created for him, that's a
right.
fairy tale world. In order for him to, he's gonna have to go somewhere where he could possibly eventually win. Which means we're gonna pay you big, but this season we might be picking number 2, number 3 again next year. But we hoping that pick is the pick that takes us on this roller coaster heading up. Maybe
Right.
Carolina, give Bryce Young a formidable weapon. You know what I'm saying? Outside of an old ass Adam Thielen, who balled out yesterday, I must say, and that overtime loss. But come on, you know what I'm saying? Let's be real. Like Adam Thielen is your number one. Come on. We
Yeah, that's
all know
crazy.
if we was playing with Carolina on Madden, he'd be up out of there. You gonna look at that cap hit and be like, 33 years old. What's his speed? 88. Like, yeah, he gotta go.
Nah, he out of here. You right.
Like peace.
Yeah, Thielen been in the league for a minute.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we see what happens with that. So last night, the Buffalo Bills officially have become the the New England Patriots of the AFC East minus the Super Bowl victories. They bombarded the 49ers, what's left of them. Christian McCaffrey is out for the rest of the season.
Got his ass up out of there. Yep.
What are your thoughts on this victory What does this mean? What does this do the 49ers come back with the same team next season? And do the Buffalo Bills have a legitimate shot at the Super Bowl?
R&B, you go
Go ahead,
first.
R&B.
Buffalo does have a legitimate shot at the Super Bowl this year. Hats off to Josh Allen. Like I said, right now I feel like he's leading for the MVP. But Saquon right there is a close second, in my opinion. They they well rounded. They went for one going and bringing in Amari Cooper, and then also outside of that, these young speedy receivers that can do it all on all levels. They're spreading the ball around. They're running the ball good. The defense is looking formidable. Buffalo's looking like they haven't missed a beat. Now, to switch over to San Francisco, you said, do I think that they will return with the same roster as next year? They're
Yeah,
probably
like,
going to have to.
or do they need to try to make moves to improve? I mean, it seems like
Obviously, they definitely need to make some moves, but I think they're going to have to damn near return with the same team next year because you paid too many people. So you don't have I don't really know what it looks like, but it doesn't seem like they have a lot of flexibility, going forward as far as like free agents or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna I think with San Francisco, they're just gonna chalk this season up and they're gonna try to return next year and hope to be 100% healthy. They'll probably make a few little tweaks as far as picking up, another wide receiver in the draft, and maybe another tight end. Maybe try to get another running back, to go in that backfield with McCaffrey and the other cat. He might be a free agent though. The backup.
Jordan
I can't
Mason.
think his name. Yeah, Jordan Mason. I think he's going to be a free agent, so you might have to, address that. But again, we all know that San Francisco will be right there in the mix if they were healthy. It's just been an injury plagued season for them. So with that being said, why not? When you're healthy and your threshold is getting to the Super Bowl, why not wait till you're healthy and try to get back to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I mean that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Like why not? You know? What are your thoughts on that, Raj?
So as far as the Buffalo Bills, you already know how I feel about Josh Allen. Josh Allen, aka Snowman Mahomes. This dude loves the snow, man. This dude is like a diehard Buffalo Bills dude. He played incredible. He did excellent on my fantasy team. I was proud of him. I think the Bills are definitely going to be contenders this season for the Super Bowl. But what I will say on the other side of the ball with the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan got to go. Kyle got to go. Um, this is the second or third game I watched with the 49ers, and they just look uninterested. And I understand, I get it. West Coast team, you know, playing in the snow. Not everybody's healthy. Everyone's banged up. But you find ways to at least stay competitive. They only scored 10 points. Like that just goes to show you that this team is pretty much given up. And this is the season that they pretty much are chalking up to the game that this is it. Because we're gonna have to come back next year and see what we can do. Because Kittles was hurt. What's the name was hurt? McCaffrey. Brock Purdy was hurt. Debo Samuel's punching kickers. Like it's a lot going on. Then on top of that, Fred Warren is not really happy with the defensive side. He's like, yo, the defense looked trash. So it's a lot of stuff that's got to be fixed. So I think they're going to chalk this season up. I think they're going to look at it and say, all right, what can we do next year to get better? But
Why does
I
that have to
believe
be an indictment on Kyle, though?
because Kyle is not figuring out how to get the ball down the field. Like, even if you got, even if you have
Yep.
second or third stringers, you got to figure it out. 10 points. 10 points, that's it. That's not good. So I wouldn't be surprised if, and like I said, this is not the first game I've watched that they just like pretty much crap the bed. This is like the third.
They're injured though, bro. Brandon Ayuk was a big blow for them going down.
Got to figure it out. Next man up mentality type situation, because
I hear you, but when your proven track record is the Super Bowl or NFC Championship every year when you healthy, I don't know. I can't really say that's an indictment on Kyle Shanahan. I feel I get what you're saying though. I'm not really trying to give him an excuse. I know where you going with it, but it's kind of like they either they hurt like they hurt like superstars hurt. Nah, but
yeah, no, you're right. I get it.
Damn near the whole season. He just came back and now he out for the rest of the season.
He says 6 weeks. So I think it's a wrap. I think you're gonna sit him. I mean,
to me, it's more of an indictment on Brock Purdy.
That too. That's what I'm saying. Brock Purdy's regression. Like I said, the ability to get the ball down the field. But let's be honest, they're not going to trade. They're not going to move any pieces around. They're going to fire the coach. That's what they do. That's what the NFL is known for. They figure they pretty much find somebody as far as like a coach or offensive coordinator that they can blame, and they say, "Oh, we're going to get rid of him and change up the system."
And if Kyle Shanahan get fired, that I'd be very surprised because he's tied. He's tied to that franchise right now. They're more tied to him. Do you know he has more power than the GM, John Lynch?
We'll see.
We'll
see by end of this. We'll see by end of this season.
We've already seen. We've known. It's been highlighted that Kyle Shanahan is the guy in San Francisco. He's the one with the power. John Lynch has to come and report to him.
Right.
It's been talked about.
Well, some got to shake up. I don't know if they're going to fire a GM. They're going to fire offensive coordinator, Kyle Shanahan, the head coach. They're going to fire somebody getting fired. Somebody getting fired.
He just wants somebody to get fired.
Because I don't even like the 49ers. Like I really hate the 49ers, to be honest. But I say that because 10 points on a primetime game? Nah.
With a bunch of injuries and a blizzard. Playing against a team that plays in these conditions regularly. And like, come on. You think they'd only muster 10 points if it was clear conditions?
Nah, I that's what I'm saying. I like I said, I get it. West Coast team playing in Buffalo, 30 degrees, 20 degrees in the snow. You're playing up against somebody like Josh Allen, who's born in the snow. But
he can spin it in that shit.
Yeah, he knows the snow like the back of his hand. So he knows how to play because he did it in college. But what I'm saying is, as a team that's always in the race for NFC contenders, y'all looking like pretenders right now. And there's no way 10 points is acceptable. That's literally 3 field goals and an extra point.
Hold on. You just defeated your own argument.
Go ahead.
Damn it, you tell me right now where San Francisco look like NFL contenders.
I said normally they are. Normally. In the beginning of the season, everybody had the 49ers.
Indicate that something's not right, correct?
Yeah.
Because they don't look as if they normally would look.
Like I said, I'm not saying that it's wrong that the way they're playing, but 10 points. Inexcusable, man. You can't. What I'm saying is if I'm the owner of the 49ers, I'm not happy right now. Somebody's heads are rolling. Somebody getting fired.
Of course I wouldn't be happy, but I don't think it's more so happy in the way of like, fuck the coach. You trying to make Kyle Shannon out to be Matt Eberflus right now.
No,
like, come on, man.
No. That dude was on a generational run of being ass.
So it's gonna be a 30 for 30 about Matt Eberflus 30 for 30, 32 seconds return.
You gotta say that was the worst coaching I've ever seen. Next to Adam Gase. It's him and Adam Gase. They need to do a 30 for 30.
Yeah.
Adam Gase.
Somebody said while that one dude was performing during the halftime show on Thanksgiving that Matt Eberflus and a couple of the other staffers from the coaching staff had visited one of the dispensaries in downtown Detroit.
I believe it.
You believe? You think that's what happened?
Cause something happened, bro. Like, dude is just making bonehead decisions. Dude's acting like, dude's acting like he just walked away from the controller in Madden. Like, it's just crazy. He got these dudes out here playing, and I'm like, yo, why don't they call a timeout?
I'm sitting here as a Detroit fan watching the game, saying, "Why they not calling timeout?"
That's what I think. Everybody said that, bro. We like,
they just let that clock.
What is he doing?
I'm like, what is going on? You have
when he got sacked. I'm like, damn, they not gonna call the timeout.
And they had what, 14 seconds or something, like it was something crazy. They had mad time to call a timeout. I'm like
32.
Oh, 32. Yeah.
It was 32 seconds.
Yeah, and then he was calling audible like that, and I'm like, all right, he gonna do something. Oh, they gonna call timeout? No timeout. I'm like,
no timeout.
This dude's really taking this game, and all they had to do was kick a field goal
to tie it. If you call the timeout, you got one more play to try to pick up a first down or possibly go take a couple shots at the end zone. Or kick the field, and then you can kick a field goal to tie if you can't get in the end zone.
Yeah, he deserved to get fired. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying he's gonna be on that level or anybody else gonna be on that level of being trash as a coach, because I don't think you will ever see that ever again. But but I will say he should. All right, let me rephrase it. Let me say this: Kyle Shanahan should be on a hot seat. He shouldn't be fired, but his seat should be warming up because 10 points
upon next season. I'll agree with you.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
If everybody's healthy next year and they struggle, or if they have some injuries again next year and they struggle, either or,
then we gotta fire the doctor. Damn it, the doctor gotta go. The health
should be on the hot seat at that point.
Yeah,
but I gotta give you a pass for this season. I can't give you the same pass for next season because I think this season should tell you we need to get younger at some of these positions.
Especially
we
the
might need
back.
to move Debo. Yeah, we might need to move Debo, whatever the case may be, whatever move they're gonna make. You know what I'm saying? We need a valuable option next to Ayuk or some more speed, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So next season, let's say Brandon Ayuk come back and go down again, week 3 or something like that. Or McCaffrey come back and go down again. Now you should have those backup options, you know what I'm saying, now. Because I've given you a year to, you know what I'm saying, bounce back from the year before. So now I can't give you that same excuse. So I would say, contingent upon how they look next year, Kyle Shanahan should be on the hot seat.
Well, I guess we'll see how that tunes in. We're now at the hour and 28-minute mark. So now we're going to revert back to Jokic being the greatest ever center or big man. So we gonna Jesus, I don't even remember where we left off. I should have wrote it down. But let's just get. I don't know. Let's go ahead. Let's get back into that.
You want to start out with the 5?
Oh yeah,
we gotta get to the bottom of this Jokic thing first.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
All right, the bottom of the Jokic. All right.
So what is so? Because I feel like you're just looking at statistics. When we talk GOATs, we gotta look at the whole picture.
Okay.
Right. We gotta look at everything. Statistics. We gotta look at impact on the game. We gotta look at accolades. We got to look at all that.
Uh-huh.
So when you look at that, I'm sorry, Jokic hasn't done anything that to me that's one impacted the game to make it different.
His
What?
impact score is a 0. His impact score is a 0, Rod. Let's be real. Let's
Everything
be
he's
real.
doing, Dirk Nowitzki was able to do. First,
No.
I wouldn't
No.
even take it back as far as Dirk Nowitzki. I would just say that I feel like everything that Joker is doing right now or has done, we've seen centers with the ability to do some of the things that he's doing or that had that skill set, just not as good as him. And I will give him that. They just
Okay.
weren't as good as he is.
hold
Okay.
on. One other point I want to make. We got to keep in mind, Shaq, they literally changed the rules of the NBA because of Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay.
Like he literally impacted basketball. Literally impacted it with a rule change.
Okay.
Kareem had the shot of all shots. Like you knew what he was going to do. You knew when he was going to do it. You knew when he was at the top. It was unstoppable. Unstoppable. There is nothing that Nikola Jokic can do in the history of his life that would amount to that. He is not going to win 5 championships. He is not going to how many MVPs has he won? 4?
3.
3?
He should have won 4. He got 3.
He's not going to win multiple finals MVPs. It's not going to happen. He's not going to be able to get all those accolades to put him in that comprehensive conversation of that upper echelon. Will he go down as one of the greats? Absolutely. No doubt about it. But to say he's the greatest ever will not happen ever. No way.
He's the greatest center we have ever seen in the history of NBA.
That's like trying to tell me that Biggie didn't have suspect lines. That's like trying to convince me that OJ didn't do it. That's like trying to convince me that
OJ didn't do it though.
Prince couldn't take your woman with high heels. That's like trying to convince me that the sky's purple. It ain't gonna happen.
Depending on where you at. But look, here's the thing. Listen,
I don't think OJ did it either. But
just for the record.
In the words of the great Dave Chappelle, that nigga did that shit.
Let me say this. You say that he haven't impacted the game. He haven't changed the game, right? Well, let me ask you a question. When's the last time you have seen so many three-point shots happening in the NBA?
What do you mean last time?
Like compared to there's more three-point shooters shooting now than ever in the history of the NBA, right? We can agree with that.
Put some context to this, Raj, because what are we talking about here?
Hear me out.
You're not going to sit up here and say that he brought that over Steph. Come on now.
No, I'm not saying he brought that over Steph. Obviously, Steph Curry made it popular to hit threes.
So are we talking bigs only?
What I'm saying is, I'm talking about when it comes down to the ability to spread the floor and to create shots, create three-point shots. Michael Porter Jr. does nothing but hit threes. He doesn't dribble. He doesn't pass. All he does is hit threes. Jokic have created the passing big man. That's what I'm saying. He now there's players like Şengün. He's doing what Jokic is doing. Now there's player like your guy, Chet Holmgren. He's doing what Jokic is doing. Now there's big men who's passing and have the ability to not only be a scorer or a rebounder, they're also a facilitator, and they're spreading the floor. So every big man who's got more than 3 or 4 assists, or 3.5 assists, if they have a big man that's doing that, there's more three-point shots that are open because they're drawing all the attention to them in the paint. And when you're drawing all that attention to them in the paint, listen, it gets so easy three-point shots up. That's my point. So to say that he has no impact is crazy.
He got
He's
impact
winning.
on his team as a superstar player. That's what superstar players do. They draw other defenders and kick to the open man. And that's what he does very
Okay, so
well.
let me ask you this: outside of consistent 3-point shooting, what can the Joker do that Giannis can't do?
Pass the ball. He can't get 10 assists.
Giannis it's not designed for him to try to go get 10 assists
Is
either.
it that he can't,
Even if he wanted to,
or
he
is
can't do it.
he's not allowed?
You don't have points. You don't have.
Giannis has gotten triple doubles with 10 assists or more.
But Giannis don't have point guard vision like Jokic. Come on, guys.
I wouldn't say point guard vision. I think he's just a great passer.
He's not.
We're
Who?
not about to sit up here and make
Who?
this man
Jokic?
out
Jokic
Chris
is.
Paul.
He don't got point guard vision.
No, he's a great passer. He's not Chris Paul, man.
All right.
He's not Chris Paul, bro.
All right.
He's
No
not
matter
Chris
what I
Paul,
say,
bro.
no matter what I say, there's nothing that can convince you guys. This guy is one of the greatest.
I'm not saying he's not one of the greatest. I just said he's not the greatest center of all time.
So to have almost 11 assists this season, he don't got point guard vision. Like he's got more assists than Chris Paul.
What?
He's got more assists right now than Chris Paul. He's leading the league with assists. If my let me look it up. I know he got more assists than Chris Paul because he got 11 assists a game. He's averaging 11 assists a game. To say that he don't have point guard vision is crazy.
Do you think averaging a high number of assists is point guard vision?
Yeah.
Or is it just being able to find open players?
What's the difference?
And players knocking down shots.
What's the difference?
He's a quintessential point guard runs the entire show. I think
and that's what Jokic does.
I think Murray runs the show. But you can also the thing about it, if you really pay attention to how Denver play, Murray and Joker, they get most of their assists off of each other more than anybody else. They're like the modern day John Stockton, Karl Malone times 10.
What I'm saying is we'll never see nothing like this ever again. And to say that he's not an impactful player is crazy because there's things that are like generationally amazing about Jokic that nobody can ever compare. Like I said, outside of the actual defense, and even his defense isn't that bad. It's not horrible. Outside of his actual outside of his defense, he's probably one of the greatest offensive players we ever seen. I'm not saying that he's Jordan or Kobe or anything like that, but I'm talking about he's averaging over 20 plus points a game. He's averaging right now 29 points a game. He's got 13.2 rebounds and 11 assists. That's at least 1/3 of the offense is going through him. If we take Jokic out the picture and put LeBron there, we're like, yo, this dude is amazing. We're like, yo, this dude's a GOAT.
But the other thing too is, I mean, Jokic has been playing a long time.
He only been playing for 10 years.
Yeah, that's a long time. But to compare him to LeBron's been playing 20 years.
But what I'm saying is, have LeBron ever averaged a triple double for his season? No.
That's another bad argument because LeBron's broken every record known to man almost.
I'm not asking about the records. I'm saying, have he averaged a triple double for his whole entire season in one season? Have he averaged 20 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds? No. Not in one season. Jokic career-wise is doing that. He's
So
21,
wait a
10.
minute. So now, hold on. Now that makes it sound like you're saying Jokic is better than LeBron James.
I didn't say he's better than LeBron. I said one season. One season.
That kind of said because LeBron hasn't done it and Jokic has. It kind of sounds like inadvertently you're saying
No,
that.
it sounds
I just
like he's averaging 29, 13, and 11. Ain't nobody else doing it right now. He's better than LeBron this season. But then the excuse is, oh, LeBron's 50.
Years than him.
Then the excuse is LeBron's 50. I get it. I get it. I get it. The moral of the story is.
What you mean the excuse is LeBron's 50?
Because you guys are gonna be like, well, LeBron is 50 years old. He's not averaging these numbers because of his age. Okay. So
I wouldn't
it's
say
always
that.
something.
I would just
Never
say
just
it was never in the deck of cards for him to do so. Right now, Joker is playing. If you've been like again, if you've been paying attention to Denver, they've had some injuries. Russell Westbrook's been playing a lot because Jamal Murray been in and out of the lineup. So Joker has had it on his plate to eat a lot more, and he's been doing it. And part of the reason they've even been staying relevant in this early NBA season. But I'm not saying that he's not a great player. He's definitely probably the best player in the league right now currently. All I'm saying is, can we get it a little bit longer here and get some more accolades to go along with it before we just start surpassing, other greats that have done it. Said just because of some stats. You still got to get the other stuff that they've accomplished to go along with it. More accolades, so maybe more MVPs. Even though he got 3, I don't really care about the MVPs at this point. It's more about championships. He got to go get some more hardware.
So if he gets more championships, then he could be in that conversation of being the greatest center of all time.
Yeah.
But isn't that a team thing, not an individual thing?
So what? It's the NBA. It's more of an individual thing in the NBA because it's more, your individual shit versus in the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so who's your GOAT for centers?
Shaq.
Hold on.
So if he gets 3 rings or more, then is he now considered the greatest?
3 more on top of the one he has?
No, what I'm saying is if Jokic end up his career, he end up getting 3 rings total
together.
Yeah. Is he better than Shaq?
In order for me to put Nikola over Shaq, just for me, in order for me to put him over Shaq, he would need to accomplish at least 2 more finals victories with 2 more finals MVPs and stay on the road that he's on right now for at least the next 5 years. And I'll put him over Shaq.
But can we also agree that Jokic is not playing with the superstars that Shaq played with?
Man, see, you steadily moving the goalposts.
Yeah,
it's the NBA.
It's true.
It's the NBA. It's the NBA. At the end of the day, when in the NBA, when you the guys, it's about go get it. Even if your team trash, go do what you do. Even if your team trash, you still supposed to go do what you do.
You're like, isn't it a team thing, not a guy thing? But let's just flip this a little bit. When we talk about LeBron's finals records, they say LeBron is 4-6. They don't say LeBron James's teams are 4-6. Michael Jordan 6-0. They don't say Michael Jordan's teams are 6-0. They don't look at it that way. They look at that player. That's just how it is. And let's be honest, LeBron had no team and he took a team to the finals that shouldn't have went. Jokic had him against the Warriors and got swept. I mean, now we're starting to nitpick stuff here. I mean,
but that's the reason why I'm pointing that out, because I'm trying to get y'all to understand and see my perspective when it comes down to not judging off of team success. I'm judging off of the actual individual. Like I said, numbers. That's why I didn't say, oh, this amount of MVPs or this amount of, all-star appearances. I didn't say none of that. I said his numbers are career-wise 21-10, 21, 11, and
Yeah,
7.
but his MVPs and his accolades are also his MVPs and accolades too, not team.
Bro,
Correct.
this
And he
this
got 3 of them. How many Shaq got?
I think Shaq got one.
bro, this is worse than
But
what
but but but
That's
but
my
but
point.
Shaq,
He's
but
a
Shaq, but Shaq played in the era with fucking Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant as his running mate for 5 years or 6. You must we go on? Allen Iverson, like must we go on?
man, this is worse than the argument on Drink Champs when they was arguing who's better, Ice Cube or Biggie.
And they robbed Shaq of an MVP twice. Two
no,
times
no.
Shaq and Kobe could have won MVP and they gave it to Steve Nash. Stop lying.
Steve
Stop
Nash,
lying right now.
Steve Nash.
He
Okay,
wasn't even the best player
that
on his
last one
team.
they did
He
rob him. They
wasn't even
robbed
the
him
best
one.
player on his team.
They robbed him one. You
I
can't
could
you can't
argue the
point.
first MVP should have went to Kobe, and I could argue the second Steve Nash MVP should have went to Shaq. Or maybe in reverse.
Y'all just don't like Jokic, man.
No, it ain't about not liking Jokic. It's just you over there. Maybe you went to Skip Bayless's house when you was in Dallas, bro.
He
Stopped over
high off.
there and got some
He high off off this recency.
No, I'm looking at the number. I'm like, why don't people see this? Like, why people are not understanding and seeing what I'm
I
seeing.
see the numbers, Raj. The thing is that I don't care that if the numbers don't equate to to dominance. We've all too many of these players in today's league or can put up great numbers, but nothing follows behind it. Now I'm not saying that that's the case with Joker, but he still got a little ways to go to follow up some more and have some more come behind it. That's all. His
All right.
story ain't finished yet.
True.
You trying to compare a dude 10 years in, just as one of them we using is like Kareem, who career went Kareem retired in what 1984?
Nah, he retired in the 90s.
No, yeah, I'm tripping. I'm talking about 84. They fucking beat the Pistons in 87 and shit. So
Yeah.
my bad. So 90, I think. It was maybe 90 or 91, I think, when
Yeah.
Kareem Abdul Jabbar retired. I was 3 years old. I'm 37 now.
Yeah.
Joker only been playing 10 years. Can I get some more? Can I get some more out of it? Shaq been retired. It's crazy to think about it. Shaq been retired almost 20 years now.
Yeah, true.
Can I get some more out of it? That's all. Like, let's not jump the gun. Because then what would the argument be if he continues to put up these dominant numbers, but can't get out the first round and never wins another championship or MVP? So I can't give him that yet. I got to see what happened first.
Yeah. All right. We'll see what happens.
Well, now we still got about 10 minutes left. I guess we start with greatest center of the top 5 then. Raj, you can go first.
Nah, I already gave you my greatest center. That's Jokic. Power forward, I gotta roll with
You
Karl
serious
Malone.
too? Wow.
No, I'm dead. Yo,
I was hoping he named someone different. And I'd be like, nah, you
No,
just
I told you.
out for Jokic.
I told you. I have him as my greatest center. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, power forward, I got Karl Malone. Small forward, I gotta go LeBron. Can't take that away from him. Shooting guard, I'm a Kobe guy. I love Kobe, but I gotta go with Jordan, of course. And point guard, I gotta go with Magic.
Okay.
You
Wait,
said
did I
this
say
was
did I say
hard.
Karl Malone? Did I say Karl Malone?
Yeah.
No, I gotta take that back because he's a pedophile. I don't like him. Tim Duncan.
No, you can't take it back, man.
Yes, I
You can't
can.
take it back.
I
You
forgot.
already did that blasphemy. So you stuck with it. Ain't no take backs.
I can't stand Karl Malone as a person. He's the worst person. All right, yeah.
So did you said these are our goals, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So pretty much the goal in each position.
So our goals. So at center, give me Shaq. At the power forward position, give me Tim Duncan. At the small forward position, give me LeBron. At the two guard, I'm a Kobe guy, give me Kobe. And at the point guard, give me Steph Curry.
Over Magic?
He said these were our goals.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying over Magic though?
Yeah. I got a better case for Curry over Magic than you got for Joker over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and fucking Shaq.
And after I give my 5, I want to hear that. So, obviously, center, I'm gonna go Shaq. Power forward, got to go with Duncan. 3 is LeBron. 2 is Jordan. At the shooting guard, and 1 is Magic. That's just what it is. Now, make this case for Steph over Magic, please. I have got to hear this one.
When it's all said and done, he will have surpassed Magic Johnson in points per game, career average. Right now, where are we sitting at? 4 championships. He's the greatest three-point shooter we have ever seen. He's a better scorer than Magic. He transcended the game completely. As much as I love him, much to my demise, because I can't stand all these three-point shooting and all this shit. But the way he shot the ball got everybody wanting to be him. He's this generation's Michael Jordan. Everybody wants to be like Steph. Everybody want to shoot the 3 ball. You got analytics now where it's all because of Steph Curry, a layup or a 3-point shot. The mid-range game is gone. Then we don't even think of Rip Hamilton and Reggie Miller no more, sadly. So all of that attribute to Steph. You know what I'm saying? He's only one behind Magic in championships. So you know what I'm saying? And outside of that, the same reason I put Kobe over Jordan. I personally have things I think Kobe was better than Jordan at, but outside of that, I'm 37 years old. I didn't see Michael Jordan play in his whole career. I didn't see Magic Johnson play his whole career. When these dudes were retiring, when Magic Johnson retired, I think I might have been in like 2nd or 3rd grade. When we saw the second stint of Michael Jordan, saying that 96 to 98 run, and then when he came back with the Wizards or whatever, but he was a different player. If you've done the research in the second three-peat than he was in the first three-peat. It was 2 different, same Mike, but 2 different Mikes. He was older, a touch slower. he went to the post a lot more with the fade, different shit like that. So it was a different thing. So I saw Kobe from beginning to end. I saw Steph Curry from college to beginning to end, and you know what I'm saying, and, and that's my argument. You said it was our goats.
The only pushback I'm gonna give you is that Magic transcended basketball in a way Steph Curry never could. And that's the way, and I didn't know this till I watched his documentary, that the NBA was pre-taped. And it was the way Magic Johnson played basketball that made it go live and get TV time.
Mm,
That for
I
me.
can't. That's not a good pushback in my opinion, because Magic didn't do that alone. He had a counterpart in the name of Larry Bird that assisted with that.
That's true.
So to
That's true.
speak. So to speak.
No, that's not so to speak.
No, so to speak.
It started in college.
It's so to
Mhm.
speak.
It was the high. It's
Well,
still to this day, I think, the highest
if
rated
that were the
national
case,
championship of all time.
if that were the case, why couldn't Larry Bird do it? Why isn't it because of him? Primarily. Why? Yeah, the rivalry.
That's the whole argument, Mike. I don't think it's because of either one of them primarily. I think it's because of both of them together at a great opportune time in this thing we call life, and it panned out.
I can't give you that one. I don't see it that way. I just
You
see
gotta have a villain. It's never been a story of a good guy with no villain.
Yeah, I don't know. But people weren't playing basketball like him. People wanted to see that. That's a contribution.
People weren't playing like that white boy either. We gotta give credit where it's due.
Mm.
People weren't playing like that
Everyone
white boy.
was white then. He was like the only one at that time.
Who? Larry?
That leads to my point. People weren't playing basketball like Larry Bird was. And I'm gonna be honest with you. People can make an argument that Larry Bird was better than Magic Johnson. It's nothing Magic could do that Larry couldn't. Let's be honest.
Mm.
Stuff kind of break down the systems and team, and it's not. That's the one thing about it. We a lot of these talks are really, what I'm saying, you picking what you want to pick or whatever, because we never really get a chance to really truly see a mono type of thing or whatever, because like I said, it's different systems and stuff. People play different. Magic would play with a team where he was blessed to be able to facilitate. Now we all know he could score, but his main thing he wanted to do was facilitate. He liked getting his teammates off, and that was his thing. Plus, he had a hell of a team to get off. A hell of a team to get off or surrounded around him. So you know what I'm saying? Who knows what it would have looked like if he would have had more of a Zeke type of role, where it's like, nah, we need you to be the number one de facto scorer and be able to help get everybody off. People could argue that Isaiah Thomas is better than Magic Johnson. Let's
Yeah,
be honest.
that's true. He's a better scorer, at least in my opinion.
Who's that? You saying Bird?
No. Well, yeah, him too. But Isaiah.
He don't ever get the respect he deserves at
Yeah,
all.
they don't
Honestly.
They don't like Isaiah.
respecting Zeke.
They don't like Isaiah.
Zeke had to drop down for me though, because I got Zeke third for me now, because Steph Curry got a case,
Yeah.
and he's played long now. His career is coming to the tail end now. He's on the tail end of his prime, so he's got a resume to where you can start trying to match it up against some legends, because he's well over that 10-year threshold that Joker just.
That's true. And the fact that he got 4 rings, that says a lot.
Yeah.
That's a
That
huge
like Jason Tatum got one, but we ain't gonna sit up here and be like, oh, man, he right there with LeBron. No, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's. I mean, you know, all these conversations are subjective.
Subjective as fuck.
Subjective, just like, man, watching the New Day break up on wrestling right now. I'm about to cry like a little kid. They over
Oh
here
man,
yelling.
don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. I'm DVR. I'm DVR.
Well, guys, we just hit the 2-hour mark here. Is there anything else you guys want to cover before we log out for the night?
Yeah. My bad. Go ahead, Raj. I'm sorry. I'm fired up.
No, real quick. Watch the NBA Cup. Watch the NBA Cup. I'm telling you,
yeah.
best basketball you watch.
I
I mean, it's been really exciting to come on tomorrow.
second that.
So just check it out. That's all I gotta say.
I second that. It has been some good NBA Cup games for sure.
Yes.
All right.
Can I go last, Mike?
Huh?
If you got something else, or I can go. I was about to say, can I go last, or you got,
Oh,
or you
yeah.
don't
I'll
have
go
to?
and you can close it out.
All right.
Well, thank everyone.
Got a good one for y'all.
You know, we're doing it up. You know, we'll be back again next Monday right here. You know, so, you know, everyone have a good week. Catch me on Honest Hour Tuesday and Thursday this week. A lot of big things coming with that. R&B, go ahead, bro.
Hey man, look. We appreciate everybody that come in and show love and leave the comments and everything like that. Nerdcamp Sports, I graciously thank you guys for accepting me into the fold. I love kicking it with y'all. And I just got one thing to say. God damn it, go blue! Go blue! Fuck them blowhole Ohio State motherfuckers. They want to fight after the game. No, you fight during the game. You let us come in there with your $20 million roster, and you let us beat y'all, and our defense show up and hold y'all to 10 points. You want to talk about 10 points? You want to talk about 10 points earlier, Raj? This your 10 points to Ohio State. No snow. No snow. No injuries. $20 million roster. 10 points. Unranked Michigan come in there and did the damn thing. Just imagine what it's going to be like when Bryce Underwood gets there next year. Y'all better beware.
Facts.
Well, appreciate you guys as always. We will be back next Monday at some time. Yeah. So everyone have a good night. Be safe. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.